Hi, it's Vex, and today we have a new deck tech from Innistrad Midnight Hunt. That's right, we have our friend Vadrik, Astral Archmage. And I have the camera super zoomed in today, so we're going to do, a different style of recording. And I like to change it up. It's probably the same style I've done it before. Anyways, Vadrik, Astral Archmage, 1 blue, red. Legendary creature, human wizard. Okay? If it's neither night nor day, it becomes day. So, bam, becomes day. As Vadrik enters the battlefield, instant sorcery spells you cast cost X less to cast, where X is Vadrik's power. Okay? Whenever day becomes night or night becomes day, put +1/+1 counter on Vadrik. So if you switch from day to night, boom, more powerful. And then, depending on Vadrik's power, you get a discount. So if you ever play Brawl, Brawl gets a 1 generic mana discount all the time. Vadrik does if Vadrik's power stays, 1. If somebody makes Vadrik's power 0, then you get no discount. But if you make it 2 via its +1/+1 counter ability or any other ability, you get a 2 generic discount. So it's really cool. Then you could flip day or night. So if you haven't watched my Tovolar deck tech or don't know what day and night is, essentially it becomes day. As it becomes day, transform all night-bound permanents. That's if you're playing against werewolves. We don't have werewolves or transforming permanents in this deck. All that matters is if a player casts no spells during their own turn, it becomes night next turn. So next turn, let's say I play Vadrik, I pass, my next opponent plays nothing, it'll flip to night. Night will say if a player casts at least 2 spells during their own turn, it becomes day next turn. So my opponent casts, let's say it's night, my opponent casts 2 spells next turn, it'll become day, and so on and so forth. And every time it flips back and forth, Vadrik will get a counter. So 2, 3. So what this means is it's kind of hard to have a player cast no spells during their turn unless you're a control player. Usually somebody casts 1 spell. So what happens is, and this has happened to me many times, I play Vadrik, it comes day, it passes all the way around, it doesn't change. What I could do is just cast no spells during my own turn, flip to night, put +1/+1 counter on Vadrik. And now if any opponent casts 2 spells like Kodama's Reach or 3 visits or Soul Ring 3 visits or any kind of combination of 2 spells, it'll flip back to day. And then I get another counter. So that's how it usually plays out. Vadrik comes back to me as a 3 power creature. It means 3 generic discount. We want to use Vadrik to cast these big spells. I love it because a lot of commanders like Niv Mizzet and such, once you go wide, spell slinger kind of deck, this once you go big. Essentially big spells, big X spells, just big spells in general. This is basically what Zaffi, Thunder Conductor, I really wanted that card to be. Zaffi essentially this is our secondary commander, 2 blue-red, legendary creature, human shaman. Whenever you cast or copy an instant sorcery spell, scry 1, spell's mana value is 5 or greater, make a 4/4 dude. If the spell's mana value is 10 or greater, Zaffi Thunder Collector, I know they messed up Conductor Collector, deals 10 damage to an opponent chosen at random. So this is about going big, paying a 10 mana value spell, deal 10 random damage. But that's a secondary commander. Let's talk about those big exiles. But before, don't forget your tokens, even the elemental that Zaffi makes. Now to the spells. We have these giant spells that we want to cast, and they get huge discounts with Vadrik. There are infinite combos in this deck. I won't tell you what they are because it's fun for you to figure it out and tell me in the comments. We have really cool cards like Electro Dominance, X red, deal X damage to any target. Choose a card with mana value X or less for a hand and cast it. Bam! So it's like a double big spell. We have Common Storm. This is what Fireball should have been. Common Storm, multi-kicker. Deal X damage, X targets if you kick it multiple times. Again, more big X spells. We will get to the part where we enhance Vadrik's power to get it, even more powerful discounts. I've gotten Vadrik up to like a 13, 14 power creature, give it 14 mana discount. So X is just 14 free mana right there in Common Storm. So next you have Jaya's Emulating Inferno, legendary sorcery, so it requires a legendary creature like Vadrik, of course. But the thing is, we're not casting this without Vadrik. We could cast it and kill some creatures. These are removal spells. You can use them as removal spells. You don't need to always go big. So Jaya's Emulating Inferno deals X damage to up to 3 targets. Sweet, 3 other opponents. So get Vadrik up to 10. You can deal 10 damage to each 3 opponents for a red. Or you can add even more mana yourself to deal even more damage. So, no one's safe playing against Vadrik. If somebody's at 20 life, they're like, oh, I got plenty of life. You're like, no. Be careful. Cackle with power. Right here, triple X, red. It deals 5 times X damage to each of it, up to X targets. You have to have X targets. So if X is 3, you have to have 3 targets. X is 4. Deals 20 damage 4 ways. Sometimes you might have to target Vadrik if you need a target, but it might end the game. So Cackle with power is insane. Very good X spell there. Another X spell, Shatter Skull Smashing. This is really good. Creature removal, it's a double face cards and land, so really good there. Then we have our card draw spells here. So we want to draw tons of cards. We do have the you have no maximum hand size limit on a lot of cards because we like drawing cards. Okay, I've rearranged it so it's easier to see instead of holding up the cards. We have our card draw spells. So after our damage dealing spells, we want to draw a bunch of cards, and we have a lot of X spells, of course, because we get a giant discount with Vadrik. We do have cards that allow you to have no maximum hand size, including Finale of Revelation right here, X blue, draw X cards. But if X is 10 or more, shuffle your graveyard into a library, draw X cards, untap 5 lands. So you can actually make mana with Finale of Revelation, and then you have no maximum hand size. You have Pull from Tomorrow, instant, draw X cards, discard a card. Now the cool part is instant because we want to play no spells during our turn, flip day to night, and then play Pull from Tomorrow on somebody else's turn. Same with Blue Sun Zenith, instant, draw X cards. Target player draws X cards. Stroke of Genius, target player draws X cards. Seagate Restoration, right here. And again, draw cards equal number of cards in your hand, so you have tons of cards. You get more, and then +1. And then, again, we love this phrase, you have no maximum hand size for the rest of the game. Love it. Another instant, Commune with Lava. This is temporary card draw, but still good. Exile top X cards your library until the end of your next turn. You may play those cards, even your lands, and instincts so you do it at the end of somebody's turn. Apex of Power, essentially same thing, 7 red. So 10 mana value, very expensive. Exile top 7 cards of your library. Until end of turn, you may cast those spells among them. So not play, you only cast spells. So slightly different than Commune with Lava. If the spell is cast from your hand, add 10 mana, any one color. So again, this might make you mana with Vadrik. You have Expansion Explosion. This is cool because it allows you to copy instants or sorceries. So you can do like a big Apex of Power right here, copy it. Except for Apex will only give you mana for the original that you cast, not the copy because it's not cast from your hand. But you get the drift. Explosion, you draw X, deal X, so it does both right there. We have some other removal spells because Explosion can hit things. Other generic non-X removal spells, Scour from Existence. Usually I play this in my Kozilek deck because it's 7 generic. But here, with Vadrik, this gets really cheap. You can exile any permanent. We're not playing cheap removal like Pongify and stuff. We're playing more expensive removal, hoping to get discount off of Vadrik. Volcanic Vision, 5 red. Return target instant or sorcery card from your graveyard to your hand. It deals damage equal to the card's converted mana cost to each creature your opponents control, and then exile it. So it's like a board wipe. Really good there. This is like removal, and it gets you instant sorcery back. Mass Manipulation. It is removal. Just removes creatures from their board and puts on your board. And man, with Vadrik, let's say Vadrik's 4 power, you automatically get X's 2. So you just pay quadruple blue right there and steal 2 things. Then we have a Strixhaven Magma Opus, which I really like. 8 mana value card. Deals 4 damage divided among any number of targets. Tap 2 target permanents. Create 4/4 blue-red elemental creature token. Draw 2 cards. So it does a bunch of stuff. Then if necessary, in a pinch, you can sack it, discard it. I mean, not sack it. Discard it and create a treasure if you need that little extra mana here and there. It also is an instant too. So in this deck, you got to take note of what's instants and what's sorceries, because it's also very important. Because the day-night cycle. Finale of Promise. I love this card. X red. So you can cast 1 instant or sorcery card with mana value X or less from your graveyard. So you can cast 2 spells. So this counts as 1, then cast 2 spells. So if you have 10, X is 10, you get to copy each spell twice. So you get 6, not even enough in my hand, 6 total copies, which is insane. This is the card that you really want to keep going. Mystic's Mastery. Again, 3 in red. Exile target card. That's an instant or sorcery from your graveyard for each card exile this way. Copy it. You may cast a copy without paying its mana cost. Exile Mystic's Mastery. Yes, I know. A lot of people say you have X spells. X is 0. So don't hit the X spells. Hit the cool spells like Magma Opus and such with Mizzix Mastery. I usually use in this deck the Mizzix Mastery, the mode, regular mode, because I want to copy another spell in the graveyard, like Scour from Existence and such like that. But you do overload 5 red. You copy, exile each card in your graveyard. If you cast like, Finale Promise, X is 0, so that doesn't really do much. But we got a lot of other non-X spells in here. But right now I'm showing you all the X spells, like Scour from Existence, Magma Opus, Volcanic Vision. So you can cast those spells if they're in your graveyard. But mainly just for the the one-hit punch, one time. We have pump effects here. So now we're getting into, we have their big spells. We still have other spells in the deck that we can cast, but these are our giant spells. We have our pump effects to help pump Vadrik. These are kind of like rituals, but also pump Vadrik, because every time you pump Vadrik, you get mana discount. So Fist of Flame, Vadrik out is usually 1 red mana, which is great. Draw a card to end a turn. Target creature gains trample. +1/+0 for each card you've drawn this turn. So imagine if you done like a Blue Sun Zenith or something, and then you cast Fist of Flame. Blue Sun Zenith for 10. You cast Fist of Flame. You give it plus. You draw a card, and your natural draw for a turn. You get +12/+0. Then you get 13 mana value discount. It's insane. You get an additional card, and then you can play another huge X spell for almost free. And remember, you can also commander damage somebody with Vadrik. Just like Veyran, the deck tech, but Veyran's more concentrated in doing commander damage. This Vadrik, there's a possibility of doing commander damage, so it's out there. Invigorated Rampage, +4/+0. Again, with Vadrik's discount, 1 red mana, so it's very good there. Sudden Breakthrough, I love this. It's like almost free. With Vadrik, it is free. Target creature gets +2/+0 against first strike. 1 red, again. Creates a treasure token, so if you pay 1 red and make a treasure token, it's a free pump. Seething Anger. So now this gets really interesting. It's an old card. It's got buyback, 1 red. Yes, the discount actually works with buyback, so if Vadrik is 3 power, this costs 1 red and the buyback is free. Target creature gets +3/+0 until end of turn. So imagine this. You have Vadrik is 3 power, right? 3 power. You cast Seething Anger, and then it's just like a free buyback for 1 red. So for each red, you're going to cast Seething Anger +3/+0. So it's like making 3 mana every time you cast it. So it's like a dark ritual every time you cast it. So it's really good here. Haze of Rage. It's got buyback as well. And it has Storm. So my god, you can go absolutely nuts with Haze of Rage. Again, if Vadrik's even, because it costs 1 color, so 3 power, you can pay 1 red. And let's say you cast it for a first time, +1/+0. That's 1 spell. Cast it for a second time, it does it twice because Storm 2. Cast it for a third time, does it 3 times. So it gets really out of hand for 1 red over and over again. So that is super good. Unleash Fury, double power target creature. Again, if you pump Vadrik to 3 power, 6 power, you can double it 12 power. So it's like a super ritual. Blackblade Reforge, 2 generic. Quick creature gets +1/+1 for each land you control. So again, this deck is all about going big. I do have extra lands because I want to hit my land drops every turn. I have all the card draw spells I need. Equip legendary creature of 3, make Vadrik big, get huge discounts. Runechanter's Pike, right here. Quick creature has first strike, gets +X/+0. X is the number of instant sorcery cards in your graveyard. Again, get Vadrik big, get him dead. Archmage Emeritus. Magecraft, draw a card when you play or copy a spell. So it's a little card draw here. So after the pump, we have some card draw. Factor Fiction. So again, really good to Vadrik as an instant. If Vadrik is 3 power like this, costs 1 blue, Factor Fiction. I mean, you can't get any better than that. Put that over here. Valakut Awakening, Moldau Face lands. Card land, lets you draw cards. I think I pumped this deck up to maybe 37 plus 3 Moldau Face, 40 lands. So you always want to hit your land drops because even though you're going big and Vadrik gives you a discount, you want to go even bigger. Like Jessica's Will. Jessica's Will is even bigger. Let's do it. Then Wizard class here. This is a really cool card from Adventures of the Forgotten Realm. Again, that cool text right there. I told you, you have no maximum hand size because you're drawing tons of cards with your big spells. I forgot to mention, this deck plays out a little differently. Like a lot of people play low to the ground decks. They're just, they cast spells, cast ramp, like boom, 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 boom. Vadrik is more of like, you sit there, you wait, you try to build up your resources, play your land, play your land, play your land, play Vadrik, play your land, then boom, then hit those big spells, big spell, big spell. So this gets out the gates a little slower. So you can cast things like Wizard class. You could level it up, draw 2 cards. The cool part is like every part of Wizard class works with Vadrik. Level 2, draw 2 cards. Level 3, whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter target creature you control right there. So it works superbly with Vadrik. We have a removal spell here. Vadrik does work with Overload, so you can Cyclonic Rift for cheap. They have the Vandal Blast, draw artifacts. Chaos Warp. This is just in case button. Just in case. Chain Reaction. I love this card. This is a good removal. 2 red. Chain Reaction deals X damage to each creature or X number of creatures on the battlefield. Usually gets flooded pretty fast. Chain Reaction kills them all most of the time. So, really cheap, really good. Actually, this deck is funny. It's an Izzet deck. And usually Izzet decks are more blue than red, but this is actually a deck with more red than blue. That's, as you can see, the double red pips there. Hour of Devastation. It doesn't deal like a lot of damage, but I've noticed that because of the way EDH is going, people are playing smaller and smaller creatures. So it's like, well, if they're playing small creatures, we can punch them with Hour of Devastation, kill Planeswalkers too. Of course, if they're playing bigger creatures, you got Blasphemous Act. This is like a huge big spell, but usually it costs 1 red, but it has 9 mana value. Capsize, another buyback card. Eventually, if you get enough power in Vadrik, you can play blue. Return target permanent to this owner's hand, buy back, and play it over and over again. We have our tutor, Solve the Equation. I added this because, I do have some big spells, but sometimes I don't draw them in the right order. So I can fetch a spell pretty cheaply with Solve the Equation. We do need to protect Vadrik here, so I have some protection spells like Fierce Guardianship, Deflecting Swat, Swiftfoot Boots here. There are no Greaves because I want to target Vadrik with things, so I just put Swiftfoot Boots in there. There are some utility creatures I totally forgot. I put this to the side, and I just totally forgot to talk about these things. Utility spells and creatures. Niv, of course, playing Izzet, we're playing spells. Niv is still good. Niv still draws his cards, deals 1 damage. Tauren, still make little creatures. It's still good. We might not make as much creature as like a spell slinger or Niv deck, but we still make good creatures. We still need creatures somehow. We need defense. These are there to essentially save our lives and act as chump blockers. Lier, I love this card. It's one of my new favorite cards from the set. Midnight Hunt. 3 blue. Spells can't be countered. Wow, that's amazing. Can you imagine just casting spells without having to worry about it? That's what Lier does. In each instant sorcery card in your graveyard has flashback. The flashback cost is equal to the card's mana cost. Wow. So everything gets flashback. You can do things over and over again. Super strong. Dualcaster Mage, copy things. Reiterate. This is insane with buyback. As I've talked about buyback, you can copy things over and over again with Reiterate. So those are our value cards, big mana cards, spells, creatures, spell slinger creatures, all there. We have the usual fare here, the ramp package. Dockside Extortionist, of course, Dockside makes treasures, is in red, why not play it? Stormkiln Artist, so I did mention there are some infinite combos. Stormkiln Artist could be part of them, but if you know what they are, mention them in the comments below. Makes some mana every time you cast or copy a spell. Mana Geyser, your opponents always tap lands. This can generate you tons of mana, helps with Vadrik's big spells. Brass's Bounty, makes some treasures for each land. And I love this Moonsilver Key. So, I have Moonsilver Key in here as a new card from Adventures from Forgotten Realm. It's one of my top 10. You can sack it, search your library for an artifact card with a mana ability, or like a Soul Ring, or a basic land. Put in your hand. So we're going to skip some of this. We're going to tell you the card that I would really search out most of the time. Pyromancer's Goggle. 5. Mana for a mana rock produces 1 red, but when this mana is spent to cast an instant sorcery spell, copy that spell. You may choose new targets for a copy. Okay, well, enough said. You can search for that with Moonsilver Key. Then you have the regular ramp, Wayfarer Bauble, Soul Ring, Arcane Signet, Izzet Signet, Talisman of Creativity, Thought Vessel. You have no maximum hand size. Again, we love that phrase. And we have a new mana rock, the Celestis. It does day or night. It could change things from day or night. It's very important. You can put +1/+1 counters. If you're just sitting there, you could just change day and night here. Okay, now we have our lands. usual lands here. Let me look at these real quick. Command Tower. We do have. I do not like the bounce lands, but in here we do because we want to go big mana. Here we have the usual blue dual lands. This deck is color heavy. I know if you think about its generic X spells, but the thing is, Vadrik gives you a discount on your generic mana, so you need colors. So you have a bunch of dual lands, your one fetch land, Castle Vantress. And then the cool part is I actually use these lands as ways to pump Vadrik. Hall of Oracles, I would never want to play this normally, but right here, put a +1/+1 counter target creature, activate only as a sorcery, and only if you've cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn. So if you cast a spell during your turn, and you got one extra land, I mean not extra mana, but if you have this untapped, you can just tap it, put a counter on Vadrik, Forge of Heroes, choose target commander that enter the battlefield this turn, put +1/+1 counter it, essentially. Bam, cast Vadrik, put +1/+1 counter, Tyrite Sanctum. Here, target legendary creature becomes a god in addition to its other types, put +1/+1 counter on it. Now you can activate the middle ability over and over again, right? It doesn't say target non-god legendary creature, it just says target legendary creature. Then if you have extra mana and you want to do the ultimate sacrifice of your land, you can sacrifice Tyrite Sanctum, put an indestructible counter on target god, which would be Vadrik right there. You have other mana acceleration like Ancient Tomb, Desolate Lighthouse to go through your deck. Reliquary Tower. You have no maximum hand size. Again, you gotta love that. Graveyard Hate and some of the cool Eternal Night basics right there. So that is our Vadrik deck. I'm gonna go shuffle this deck up and do a little Goldfishing. But before I do a little Goldfishing, if you enjoy the deck, give that video a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be alerted for more cool videos. I have the deck list and TCG player affiliate link in the description below. So we're gonna shuffle this deck up, and we'll be right back. All right, we are back. Turn number 1. Let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay. Land. Okay, that's a good start. Blue Sun Zenith. Triple blue. I did just say this deck is more red, but we do have triple blue like Blue Sun Zenith. Blue Sun Zenith kind of sucks, but Factor Fiction, Fist of Flames. Do a Vadrik mana. We need 2 more mana to play Pyromancer's Goggle, costs 5, so we'll let that sit for a little while. Remember, this deck is slow. It's not the fastest deck. It doesn't just pop off turn 6, win the game, infinite combos. There is infinite combos in here, but you gotta take your time and hope to survive. All right, turn 1, draw a card. More lands. Forge of Heroes, really good. So what we could do is play Vadrik on turn 3 with Forge of Heroes, but +1/+1 counter on Vadrik right away. Maybe Factor Fiction for that land. We'll just start off with our, basic land. Pass. Nope, not turn 3, turn 2. Draw a card. Do what everybody does on turn 2. Play a 2-mana ramp spell. Arcane Signet. Turn 3. Here. Boom. Stroke of Genius. Okay, so our plan was to play Forge of Heroes. Tap our not the Forge of Heroes, Arcane Signet in the lands. Play our Vadrik and choose target commander that enter the battlefield this turn. Boom, put +1/+1 counter. Oh, no, not +2/+1/+1 counter, it's just 1/+1/+1 counter. Say pass. Turn 4. All right, if we hit that land, we play Pyromancer's Goggle. Bam, no land. All right, what can we do? Now remember, we got two mana discount, so we could. I forgot. Came to play as Day. Let's say everybody plays their spells as what we used to do. I could just do nothing. We got plenty of cards in our hand. We could say, we could discard Magma Opus and get a treasure to help us cast our goggles next turn. We could play Fist of Flame because we drew a card, draw another card, so +2, 4 mana value discount off of Magma Opus, right? So we play 1 Fist, and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we can play Magma Opus, but that doesn't really help us. So let's just pass the turn. We'll flip to Night right here. Plan to cast our Factor Fiction next turn, during end of somebody's turn. We say go. let's say hypothetically somebody casts one of their 2 spells. We'll add another counter to Vadrik. Have day as it comes back to our turn. So at the end of somebody else's turn, what we're going to do is what we can do. Play Factor Fiction. We play Fist of Flames as an instant, but that doesn't work. Let's play Factor Fiction just for 1 blue. And that's sweet. And we could copy it with the expansion part, Expansion Explosion. Or we could just, play Stroke of Genius and draw even more cards. Let's do that. That's 4 mana value discount, so it's 4, 5, 6, 7. We just want to draw all the cards. So it's 1 blue and 7 colorless. So 1 blue and then 2, so it's 3, 4, X equals 4. So we'll just draw 4 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's our 4th card. So we got our land. Sweet, we got a bunch of cards here. Okay, now we untap. Turn 5 here. So we could still pass and flip, give Vadrik a counter, draw more cards. We'll play our land for a turn. Okay, so what do we got here? Look at that. Vadrik's power is 4, so we get 4 generic off. We could play Fist of Flame, get more off. Let's do that. I think what we want to do is play Brass of Bounties for a huge discount. I think we want to copy that too. Yeah, let's do that. Let's make tons of mana here. Okay, let's do that. Let's play. Can we draw cards? This doesn't draw cards. It just puts in your hand. All right, so let's play Fist of Flames here. Draw a card. Okay. Drew a Finale of Promise. Until end of turn, target creature gains trample +1/+0 for each card you've drawn this turn. So it's 2. So temporarily 2. Right there. So Vadrik is 4, so 6 mana value right there. We'll just, we'll cast Brass's Bounty for 1 red mana. That's pretty sweet. We will, let's see here. For each land you control, only 4. Nah, it's not that great because we only have 4 lands. So let's see what else we could do here. Let's do that. We essentially have 6 mana value of cards to do. So Pyromancer's Scholar will still cost retail, full retail here, so we can't do that. I know, it's so hard. We could cast Finale Promise to get Fist of Flames back only to get even more value. Let's just start by casting Factor Fiction. All right? Factor Fiction. We'll do that. We will place 5 cards. See what any sane person would do. They would not want you to have Reiterate, so they'll do this split right here. Because Reiterate is insanely dangerous with what you could do. So you would take Reiterate here. You would say, yeah, I don't want any of these cards. Yep. That's what any sane person should do, is keep you away from Reiterate. Because what you would do here in this situation is you would just do this. Check this out. You would pay 1 red, cast Brass's Bounty. That's on the stack. You would pay 2 red here. Cast Reiterate with buyback because you get 6 mana value discount right there. This is still on the stack. You would reiterate. Choose target instant or sorcery spell. Copy that spell. Sorry, copy target instant or sorcery spell. You may choose new targets for the spell. Copy. We're gonna copy Brass's Bounty. That's still in the stack. This will resolve. Put it back into my hand. Put a copy of Brass's Bounty back onto the stack here. Create a colorless treasure for each land you control. So what we'll do is we will create 4 treasures because we have 1, 2, 3, 4 lands. Remember I told you about which infinite combos? Well, guess what happened? What we'll do is, this is still on the stack. We will crack 2. We'll play Reiterate Buyback over again. And then we now have presented an infinite loop to make infinite treasures. Because what we'll do is keep this on the stack, Reiterate over and over again with Buyback, create infinite treasures. And with that infinite treasures, what can we do? Everything. We can mill a person, make them draw their entire library to death. We could Expansion Explosion. We can make the other person draw the library to death and deal infinite damage to the next person. Comet Storm, kill everybody all at the same time. Magma Opus just for fun. And we can reiterate infinite amount of times to copy all these spells over and over again. So when I first said this deck is grindy, it is grindy. This is the special card you want. 100% this should be in every Vadrik deck, because the discount. So how this works is actually when you cast a spell, when you announce casting this spell, put this away. You put any additional cost into the casting of the spell. So it becomes 4 because you want to buy back 4 red. Then you take all the discounts that you can. So Vadrik would say instant sorcery spells cost X less to cast, where X is its power, which is 6, right? So it's 1 with 3 +1/+1 counters. So it's 4, 5, 6. And that discount applies to generic, so it's red. You take this on the stack. This keeps bouncing back since this is instant. You keep casting Reiterate on Brass's Bounty while it's on the stack. Make infinite treasures and go off. That was a really lucky. Again, that's why I'm saying any sane person, if you factor fiction, they should put Reiterate by itself and the 4 cards on the other pile to tempt you to get the 4 cards instead of Reiterate. But of course, we're smart. We pick Reiterate. Guess we did win the game on turn 5, which is pretty sweet. Wasn't expecting that, but yes, that can happen. Anyways, if you enjoy this deck, give the video a thumbs up, smash the subscribe button, hit the notification bell to be alerted for more videos. I have the deck list and TCG Player affiliate link in the description below. And as always, have a wonderful day.